Hi everybody, welcome to the Veggie Bob Podcast. This is episode 6 with myself, Veggie Bob, also known as Jimmy, and my lovely wife,
Bianca.
or also known as Precious.
Wow.
I know, because you're so precious
Okay.
to me. What? Well, do you want me to say, oh, you're so Bianca to me?
I mean, I could see you saying that.
I would say that, but it makes no sense.
Yeah,
It
that's
makes more-
why you would say that.
Not everything that comes out of my mouth is nonsensical.
Anyway, what are we going to talk about?
So anyways, today, in today's podcast, I want to talk about one of my favorite verses. I have so many now. But one of them is Genesis 1:28. You know that one, right?
Yes.
And we usually use this as a, we're going to make babies.
You usually.
I usually use this verse as a me and Bianca are gonna make babies verse, but it isn't just subject towards that, right? So the verse in saying it is, do you know what it is off by heart?
No, because every time you always say be fruitful and multiply, and that just sticks to my head. There's more.
That's what it is. There is more to
yeah.
it. But Genesis 1:28, I'm gonna read it from the New King James Version, okay? So it says, "Then God blessed them, and God said to them, 'Be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth and subdue it. Have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over every living thing that moves on earth.'" Okay, so there's a reason why this verse just shouts to me and speaks to me, right? Because it has something to do with how and who God created us to be. Right? So right now, one of the things that Bianca is, and I'm helping Bianca with, is helping her to see. Can I just tell you? So one of the things I'm helping you to see in your life right now through this season, it's helping you to see who God created you to be. And I know a lot of the times you don't always see it just because you're just stressed out with the amount of work to do and the amount of school to do and the responsibilities you have to take care of, right? So my role, as I see, as your husband, your loving husband, well, I am your loving husband, I love you, is to always remind you and to tell you and to show you how God sees you and how I see you, because I see you the way God sees you, right? And this verse shows us how to be, who to be, right? And in the first verse, it says, be fruitful. Not have fruitful or do fruitful, but it's be fruitful. So one of the things of being a human being is to be fruitful. So going back to making babies. So being a human being, right? No, like I'm actually being serious. Like being a human being, we are all called and created to reproduce after ourselves, to be fruitful, right? So you can only do that by a man and a woman, a husband and a wife, right? So going back to like the things that you're struggling with right now, because actually can I ask you to share that, or you want me to share that?
It doesn't matter. You can share it.
Okay, so Bianca, again, she's so busy. She's full-time school, she's full-time work, and then on top of that, she's taking care of the chores. Not all the chores, but some of the chores around the house too, right? So it's a lot on her plate. Could you imagine just being full-time work? Now, on top of that, add full-time school. Like, that in itself is a lot, right? So I know a lot of the times you cry
Oh, okay, we're gonna share that. Okay.
Yeah, no, but you do. But this is the struggles that you go through, right? Because you're just so overwhelmed with the amount of work and the things that you have to do. And a lot of the times you come to me and I hold back my tears because...
Oh, I thought you were annoyed.
So one of the ways I kind of be the man is holding back my tears. So however the way that looks, apparently to you it looks like I'm annoyed. I'm not annoyed because I'm really feeling what you're feeling, because I'm like, dude, you're an extension of me, right? We're one. You're an extension of me. So when you cry, I cry, because when you hurt, I hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So don't ever think that, oh, Jimmy's just annoyed at me.
Well, because you always hear it, like, almost every day, pretty much.
Yeah, and it hurts.
So, I don't know.
Because I imagine myself in your shoes. I imagine when you do that, I imagine myself telling me those things.
Mm.
And that hurts me. And it just brings my self-worth, my self-image, the way I see of myself, down. But knowing the things I know now, how God sees me, how God sees you, it hurts because now I see the potential in you and how much potential you have to grow into the woman, the wife, the professional who God created you to be in your workplace, right? So whenever you struggle, one of the main struggles is I'm so overwhelmed, right? With the amount of work and the amount of work, both work and school, that has to get done. And when you come crying to me and you're like, I don't know what to do, and you have the look of, I just want to give up on your face, it hurts. And I hold back the tears, especially when you're crying, and I replace those thoughts and those tears with what God has to say about you. And one of them is being fruitful. Be who you are. Reproduce after what God put inside of you. And what I see that God put inside you is this strong, intelligent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Smart,
Mm-hmm.
very capable woman. Right now, because of the circumstances that you're in right now, so with all the schoolwork, the amount of schoolwork that has to get done, the amount of work that needs to get done, it's discouraging for you. So me, as my role as a husband, I'm refocusing your mind on not the circumstance you're in with the overwhelming work that you have, but who God says you are and what God has given you, your abilities and your skills, for you to develop to get through this. And like I said, going back to, dude, I see you as a strong, capable, smart woman who can totally overcome this. And I'm not just saying that because God says that about you, but I also have proof to back it up because of everything you've gone through since you were born. Remember the time when we weren't dating, there was that 7 years where all you did was just work, like you worked your night shift, work, no social life. Your only social life was just gaming online.
Mm.
And you were always tired, exhausted from work, correct?
Yeah.
And your only escape from that, or your only rest from that, was hanging out with your friends online playing video games.
Mm.
But the thing is, you got through those whole 7 years and you made bank. You were making a lot more money than those around you, correct?
I guess.
You were.
Okay.
Because you were working a full-time job working as a PSW, while everybody else was just not really in their career at all. They were just working part-time or whatever, right? So you're already ahead of the game. But the thing is, you, in those 7 years, you already demonstrated the strength and the endurance and the perseverance to get through that. So imagine that 7 years ago, fast forward to where we are today. You can't tell me, and I can't tell myself, and I can't tell you, you don't have the strength, the determination, and the perseverance to get through these circumstances when you've already persevered, gone through, and overcome those circumstances 7 years ago. Right? So, again, I love you. And I'm always going to... Or I don't know if you're zoning out or you're...
I'm listening.
Okay. I will always love you. I'll love you forever until the end. Okay? And I'm always going to show you and remind you, dude, you are more than what your circumstances are. Right? That's how much I love you. So just know, again, going back, if you're crying and I look like I'm annoyed, I'm actually holding back tears. Because when you hurt, I hurt. I just don't like to show it. Or I show it by apparently looking annoyed, or the other thing I do is I crack a joke, or I'll just laugh. It's my coping mechanism.
Yeah, I do that a lot.
Right? I think for a lot of
Laughing
people,
anyway.
I think for a lot of people, it's their coping mechanism to just laugh it off or crack a joke. Yes, no? Like you say,
No, I
you
think
do it a
it's-
lot.
I think it's mixed. I've seen like some they don't, some do, some don't.
Okay, but for you, you kind of do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's why I just laugh like a lot. Sometimes it's genuinely funny, sometimes it's just yes.
Is it my goofy face?
Yeah, a lot of times just your face.
Dude, what's up with my face?
I don't know, it's just the way, like your express. Yeah, like already just laughing.
So I have a super expressive face.
Yes.
It's funny because I said the same thing about you. You
Yeah.
have a super...
The only thing is you get away with stuff,
What do
and
you
there
mean
is
I get away with
evidence.
stuff? I don't
At
get away with
work.
everything. I know I get away with
Majority.
stuff. It's because I have a joyful attitude.
And also your face. Yeah, it's yeah.
Okay. So anyways, going back on topic. So God says for us to be fruitful, right? Not to have fruitful or to do fruitful. So there's an order to these things, right? So a lot of the times we do things to get things. Or do you agree with me? Or could I even say we do things to have things? Like we'll go to a job and we'll do the work that's required of us so we can have money to buy things we like or to pay things off, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So God set it up in a way for us to be successful. Super successful. And that is to, again, this is the second half of the equation, to do the things we need to do in order to have the things we deserve.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? So again, having a job, working, doing the work in order to get a paycheck or to have a paycheck. But look at it this way. How are you able to do things, or how do I put it this way? You can't have things without doing the right things to have them. I'll say that again. Just something to think about. You can't have things. Is that what I said?
Mm-hmm.
You can't have thing. No, that's not what I said. You can't. Oh my gosh, I forgot what I said.
That's what you said.
Yeah, you can't have things,
Yeah.
right? Without doing the things you need to do to have them. And the example I'm going to use here is, it's like a bank robber or a thief, right? So a thief will want to covet or have something that they don't deserve. So what do? They steal it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in God's eyes and in God's system, that's not the way it's supposed to be. So what ends up happening to thieves, right? They end up stealing and stealing and stealing, and eventually they usually get caught,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then they have to serve time in prison, etc., whatnot. But the way God set it up is we need to do the proper things in order to have. I know I'm a broken record right now. We need to do the right things in order to have the things the way God intended us to have. So that's the second half of what I wanted to focus on. The first half of what I wanted to focus on was the beginning of this verse, to be fruitful and multiply. So in order to do something, this is what I wanted to get at, you need to be the person first in order to do what it is you need to do. So going to your situation, a lot of the times you are, again, you're just overwhelmed, and sometimes you're unsure if you can even do it, right? But right now you're in this process of becoming the person who God created you to be. So you're going to school for recreational therapy, right? So you can do the things recreational therapists do in order to enter that job and to have a better paycheck, make more pay, right? So again, going back, you're struggling with being that person. Well, this is the thing about becoming that person. It all starts in your mind, right? So if you can't see yourself the way or who you're supposed to be, you'll never do the things you were meant or you're supposed to do, correct? So whenever you're struggling, I'm encouraging you and I'm refortifying with my words who you are. It's like, because I go back to, even though you're struggling, you're having all this anxiety and you're overwhelmed with all the work, dude, right now you're in the season and you're in the stages of becoming a recreational therapist. And I'm just reminding you in your head, dude, you can do it despite all the circumstances. And you've proven it in those last 7 years that, you struggled with, all you did was work and you pretty much had no social life outside of just online gaming. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, it's all computing. So basically God is saying you have to be first. Then when you be that person, then only will you be able to do those things you were supposed to do. And once you're able to do those things you're going to be able to do, then you can have what you want. Because God did create in us a desire to have things. Right? Like, you want to have, you know where I'm going with this? Plushies.
Yep.
You want to have these nice things. Like back when you were a kid, right? You didn't really have a job, but you wanted to have certain things, but you weren't able to. That's where our parents came in, right? Because they were the ones who provided for us, right? So God's way of doing things is to be, then to do, then to have. Again, in Genesis 1:28, it says this in the Bible. Then God blessed them, and God said to them, be, there's the be, fruitful and multiply, fill the earth and subdue it. So that's where the doing comes in. Then it says, have dominion. So you can have all these things. Have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over every living thing that moves on the earth. So, in our relationship, right? When are the only times you struggle being who God created you to be? Or I guess that's not the right question to ask. Do you find it difficult, or the most difficult, to remember who God created you to be in times of difficult circumstances?
I guess sometimes.
But not all the time.
Yeah.
So when aren't the times you find it difficult to be who God created you to be?
When I'm not, I guess, physically, exhausted. I don't know.
Okay. No. I'm the same way. So basically, another way of putting it is when you're not physically stressed. Because when you're exhausted, stress has been put on your body, correct?
Yeah, it's like I guess more than the usual because normally it's like if it's little things, it's not too bad, but I think it's just a matter of there's no rest for me, and then
Mm.
like especially when I stay up late at night trying to catch up whether it's with work or school, or I guess then that's where both physically and mentally exhausted. There's no like
There's no break. There's no
yeah.
rest. Okay. So
What? Why are you laughing?
because so I've been thinking about this too because I've been doing this with you the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Dude, we've been staying up late.
Yeah.
Like late, right? And every time we stay up late, dude, we get up late. Or the times we don't get up late, we have to get up early and then we're like zombies for the whole day, right? So do you think we should be going to sleep earlier?
Well, yeah, but the problem is, like, it depends, because I know for you, usually it's like you're hungry at like midnight and you want to have snacks. Mine is like I actually had
Dude,
to
why
do
did you
stuff.
throw me on the bus? You like to eat snacks too.
Yeah, when you're munching in my ear, I want to have some. So I wake up.
Dude, okay. So I don't know if this happens to a lot of couples out there. So if when I'm eating, she gets hungry. But the funny thing is whenever you're eating, there are times if I'm not hungry, I'm not hungry. Like I won't eat.
I think mine's just due to stress.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But usually, like, when you eat, even like when I'm in the bed and you're like on the couch, I don't know, man.
All you hear is
Especially when you have your headphones trying to like, don't worry, I'm gonna let you sleep. And it's like the munching's like 10 times louder than it should be.
I'm sorry. But dude, you're the one who said, I even tell you, right? I'm like, yo, is it okay if I like watch and eat?
And you're like, yeah.
Meanwhile, I see you on the bed, you're like, and you think I don't see you? Dude, I see you. I'm like,
I just be cool.
why don't you just get up and join me?
Because I'm trying to sleep. But then I just end up like closing my eyes for like the 2-3 hours that you're up, and by the time you go to bed, that's I'm like, oh.
It's time to get up. I'm sorry. Just,
No, keep in mind too, because I work night shift, like any little sound.
True.
So, but yours is like more than not a little sound. It's like louder than usual.
Yeah, I'm not considerate at all when it comes to my eating. Like if I'm eating, I'm just eating.
Yeah.
Dude, do you remember? Never mind. I'm not gonna say that. Let's not do that.
Okay, let's just.
Okay, so we'll go back to so I believe we should probably try going back to sleep at like a reasonable time.
Mm-hmm.
Like what time do you think we should go back to sleep?
I don't know, because normally you set up your podcast too during like later in the evening, and guess what? Then we're gonna eat. We need to actually have a proper schedule.
Yeah, we don't have a proper schedule.
No.
I mean, we kind of do ish. No, we don't. We don't have a proper schedule. We don't have a proper schedule. Yeah, we should probably do that.
Mm-hmm.
So, what time you want to go sleep tonight?
We're not gonna go sleep early. Dude,
What do you have left to do?
we're still gonna eat.
Yeah, the food's ready. We'll eat and then we'll relax, and then we'll go to bed. Right? But okay. Let's get back on topic. Do you believe we should go back to our going to sleep earlier?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the thing is, I can't guarantee that, because with school and work, because sometimes they overlap. Now I know it's just probably better time management.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. One of the things that you gotta work on, again, even me, I'm not saying I'm that much better than you at it, because clearly I've been going to sleep late too, right? Is better time management. But dude, I just find with work and the amount of work lately, it's like time management just goes out the window. We're terrible at that.
Yeah. Well, my problem is too, like let's say even if I were to do like for this, like let's say, oh, I'm gonna do like an hour at least for work for this time frame, and then for school it's another hour for just this. Like if I feel like it's too structured, just because of how I think and like process things, or just I don't know, I can't align it like properly. Like it's not gonna be within that time frame. It's gonna go over it. You know what I mean?
Can't you allow?
Like, for example, if I'm gonna do, unless I shorten it and I just spread out throughout the week, but that's just,
Yeah, that's what I was. You don't want to do that.
depends. I mean, I could, but then something's gonna come, just like with you at work.
Yeah, that's true. There's always something that comes
Yeah.
up in our. Yeah, there's always something that comes up in our relationship. But despite that,
But we should try still.
yes, we should totally try. So what time are we going to sleep tonight?
We don't count tonight.
Okay, so starting Monday.
Yeah.
Dude, we sound like New Year's resolutioners. Starting Monday!
I mean, just like when I have to work out, I have to go back to the routine again.
Yeah. I'm gonna love it when
And,
you start working out again.
oh, so you don't love me now that I'm not working out?
I do love you now that you're not working out. I love you no matter what. It's not what you do or what you look like or what you don't do. I'm just saying, when you start working out, you're gonna make me wanna.
Anyway, I'm gonna... And man, ever since I went to school too, like, oh my gosh, especially with like my friends. I love my friends, but man, every time after class, let's get food.
Yeah.
And that's and ice caps. Oh, I've been
Dude,
really
you gotta lay off the
bad.
ice caps.
I like did not bring the ice cap specifically just to show that like I'm not as addicted.
Okay, guys. Okay, so literally before this podcast, Bianca's like, so I'm still gonna go ice cap, right? I'm like, yeah, I'll still get you an ice cap.
Yeah.
And it's snowing outside and the road's slippery.
I said he doesn't have to with the way he said like it's snowing and raining. So I was
but
like,
you
yeah.
also did say, but I would like. When
Well,
you
yeah.
end off your sentences like that, I'm gonna get it for you.
No, because there are times if you're like really tired, you're like, I can't get.
Yeah, do I
like,
look really
yeah.
tired right now?
Now, no, but before, I don't know. I can't tell. I can't tell when you're about to cry. I can't tell when you're mad. I just assume they're always mad or annoyed.
Dude, I'm never mad I'm never mad at you. There are times I'm annoyed at you. That is true. But I'm never mad at you.
I don't know. I think it's just because of.
I think we're still in the learning process of our marriage, of getting to know the other person's emotion.
I think I think it's more for me just like my bad habits of just having. How would you say it? I don't want to say assuming, but it kind of is assuming like the other person's reaction because of like experiences.
Past experiences. Yeah, you can't do that.
I know. It's
But
something I should
you're slowly getting out of that. It does take time. Keep in mind that it's 25 years of all those past experiences that you got to unlearn, all the
Yeah.
negative ones, right? But do you find in this marriage that it is helping, like with what I'm doing as a husband, like fortifying in your head and with my words? It's like, dude, take my word for it when I say I'm not mad at you. I'm really not mad at you.
Yeah, you just have to say it like 8 times for me to understand it. Then yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna keep saying it. I'm not mad at you.
Yeah. Just like I have to keep telling you to stop when I want you to stop, and then you'll like
What instance are you referring to?
it's a lot, and
I do stop.
after the 8th time.
No.
Jimmy,
Last time
can
I
you
was
stop hitting me with the goose? Can you stop? Can you stop?
Dude, I'm practicing my wrestling moves.
Yeah, but what did I say?
Yeah, it's just in one ear
Yeah,
and out the other because
yeah.
in my head I'm picturing me doing the wrestling move on you. Okay, so for context, I like doing wrestling moves on Bianca.
I do not recommend it for couples.
What? I'm just saying. Because, dude, what shows up on my feed, I don't know why. It's probably because of Ray and all them, right? So what shows up on my Instagram feed...
It's just you, because it goes on my feed. So it's just...
I'll see all these random wrestling WWE, AEW, ECW wrestling clips. And because growing up as a kid, I did watch wrestling, and it just brings back those memories. So I'll watch these wrestling clips, and when I watch them, it's like... When I was a kid, I would wrestle my pillows, and I had so much fun. So now that I have a wife...
Wait, you didn't do that to like... Oh, well, I guess they'd probably beat you, your siblings.
Yeah, because I was the youngest and I was the smallest. I was always the one people were doing wrestling moves on.
Yeah.
So now it moves to, now I'm going to be the guy doing the wrestling moves on you.
It got banned in our house because Brian and Cliff were like wrestling each other to the point where like it got really violent, so it got banned.
That sounds about right. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
See, at least I'm safe. I'll always do wrestling moves on you on the bed.
That's not no.
Why
No.
not?
I
Boss.
don't like it.
Do you remember when I pretended the hippocat
Remember
steel chair?
when you like also hit me by accident because the hippocat missed and your arm hit me?
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because you were too focused. I felt the pain.
I said I'm sorry.
And this is why I asked you to stop.
And I did.
No, you kept going
Yeah,
another 2 times.
Yeah! Just another 2 times.
That's still
But
going.
am I not getting better at
Anyway,
it?
no,
Okay.
you're not.
Why are you throwing me under the bus? Why are you throwing me under the bus?
Let's go back on topic.
What was our topic?
That's a good question.
Oh, jeez. Oh, going back. So, like, do you find me helping you, right? Forgetting those past experiences where, with my words, I can help fortify, I'm not mad at you and just take my word for it, right? Like, it is helping throughout a relationship. I think with a lot of relationships, even when it comes to ourselves, it's hard to unlearn things, especially when you spent your whole life learning them. Like, I'm going through the process right now of unlearning all the bad habits I've learned throughout my lifetime. For example,
What? Is that?
Okay. I'll let you say it.
No, I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, no. I want you to answer this. All right, what's one bad habit that I have that annoys you? Dude, just one.
I don't know. There's a lot.
Okay, just pick one. Pick the worst one. What's the worst
Oh,
one? to
I
you?
don't know. They're all like up there.
Dude.
I don't know. I guess when you don't stop when I ask you to stop, it at least takes like at least 5 times.
Oh, so that's a bad habit that I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Like, not... Okay, could I say this? Not listening when I'm in the moment is a bad habit of mine.
Yeah.
But when I'm not in that moment, like I'm hyper focused on whatever it is that I'm thinking or doing, I do listen well,
Yeah.
right? So it's just when I'm hyper focused on whatever it is that's going on in my head. Yeah, I don't listen. Is that getting better? It is. Since we've been together, since we've been married, how long have we been married for? Almost 3 years. 3 years coming this March. Dude, are you saying it hasn't gotten better?
Not really.
Gee, thanks.
You want me to be honest, right?
I'm working on it. Well, now that I'm aware. I think I'm more aware now because there's a podcast.
Because
and
you're
you can-
listening.
Yeah, I am listening.
Because you're listening.
Okay. You want to know one of the things that...
Oh no, I know there's a lot of things that I need to work on.
Yeah, I know. Okay, but so one of them is, but you are actually improving on.
Okay, what?
Okay, it's being so negative about yourself,
Oh yeah.
right? Like, you know what I find? Now that you have, like, your college friends.
I have people to talk to other than work or you.
Yeah, but this is in, like, real life. Like, you can actually
Yeah.
talk to them on the phone, but you actually spend time with them in real life, like, in person, right? I find your confidence has, as well as combining being with me and, me always encouraging you and telling you, dude, this is not who you are, this is who you are, right? I find having those friends around you, it is a huge benefit because I've seen your self-esteem and even your joy just go up exponentially. Do you feel that?
I guess, yeah, it's just like a new environment.
Yeah, a healthy environment.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice when you're in an environment where you're able to be prosperous and abundant and grow, right? Like do I don't want you to ever think I want you to stop spending time with your friends. Because I like your friends, and your friends are a very positive influence on you, and you can be a positive influence on them as well. So it's like you both, actually not you both because there's a group of you, you all bring something to the table. It's not just one person always taking from the relationship, but it's all of you guys contributing to the relationship, and that's what makes a healthy relationship. It's not just so one-sided. So whenever you tell me you're going to hang out with, like, I wonder if Nini watches this, with like Nini and Emily and Jaden and all them, right? I'm always thinking, yeah, that's fine, cool, go for it. Like, there's never a thought in my head that's like, no, you're spending so much time with them. You already see them at school. Now you want to hang out. You know what I mean? I mean, that is so selfish if I were to ever think that. It's like, but dude, school is school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you met them in school. Now you want to, you want to get to know them better outside of school. So whenever you have those extracurricular activities outside of school, when you guys plan something, yeah, go for it. Like the time when you went to Toronto and then you came home late, like. Now I know how you feel when I leave for business trips. Because it's like, remember you asked me, like when you came home that day. I came home before you. I came home at like 8. You got home at like 11.
Yeah.
Right? Because you came from Toronto and you spent the day after your exams with like Nini and them. You guys just went. Where did you guys go?
Oh, we went to the winter...
The winter festival.
Yeah.
It was the winter festival in Toronto, right? So anyways, so now I know how you feel when I go on business trips. Because when you asked me, you're like, did you miss me? And then I said, no. I miss you.
Actually, I would have like came home a bit earlier. It was still late, but the reason why it's because I want to make sure one of my classmates like went in her apartment because she was like she lives in like downtown, well, residence anyway.
Downtown where? Hamilton?
Hamilton, yeah. But the thing is, like, you know, she is young. She's like 18. And
Oh,
she's
her.
walking by herself. So
Dude,
like,
this
I
is you
want to
being
make-
the motherly type. I guess that's what happens when you're the older one too, eh?
Yeah, I mean, I did it to Nini too, and she walked back with me to the bus stop to make sure.
Well,
I
see,
went
this
home.
is what I love about you having your friends.
Yeah.
Right? Because the only other friends you really have is that you spend time with and are really close with, Natisha.
Yeah, which, you know, she's busy.
She's busy too, right?
Yeah.
So, and the thing is, yeah, you're busy too. So right now you're in this season where you're making new friends from in college because you never had that experience when you first went to college for PSW, right?
No.
I gotta ask. I never asked this. It's like, dude, were all your classmates like older than you when you were taking PSW?
For PSW, there was only 4 of us, including myself.
That's it?
There was the teacher, me, and then 2 students, which was at the time, I'll say maybe 45, and then I was like 50.
Dude, they old.
Yeah, and I was
That's not fun.
And I was
It's
fresh
like-
from like high school, so of course when you did a group project, I did it, everything.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
So now you're actually experiencing the college life the way
I did
18-year-olds.
I did go for pharmacy assistant, but
You didn't like that? You told me. I remember I dropped you off to that interview. Do you remember?
oh,
Yeah, I dropped you off to that interview. This was before I even liked
like
you.
I knew.
I think I was just doing you a favor because you asked.
Yeah, because I think my classmates, like, they were fine, but I don't know, just I was in like work mode, or we didn't really click like the interest, like it wasn't like similar.
Yeah,
We just kind of like did our own thing.
gotcha.
Yeah,
But,
it wasn't the same vibe as like now.
yeah, I think you just get along better with younger people.
They were young.
Who?
Though not the PSWs, but like for pharmacy assistant, they were young. They were either I think my age or
Then why didn't you get along with them? Oh, because you were working full
I
time.
think I was working full time, and on top of that, like just the interests, like I just couldn't click with them. Like we all had our different
interests,
yeah.
things you were
I
into.
couldn't really open up with how I liked video games or plushies. Like they liked other things. I
So
guess.
you didn't really have much in common.
Yeah, and I think like they were also kind of like to themselves. I still
So,
have some.
Kind
of
of like
them.
you.
Yeah. But keep in mind too, like I think I was still miserable.
Well, yeah, if you're working full-time hours
Yeah.
and then your manager tells you to work on top of those full-time hours,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was rough, dude. See, and this is why I'm like, dude, the circumstances you're going through now, you totally have the strength to just get through this.
I just don't think this is a new aspect with the social aspect.
Yeah, but don't you like the social
I like
aspect?
it,
Exactly.
But I now can tell like how it could be draining. I love them, don't get me wrong. Like even
Well,
actually
because you're an introvert at heart.
yeah.
You're like me. I'm an introvert at heart too. It's like people drain you, but you love people.
Yeah.
But there's only so much time and energy you can have with people. Then you're like, I need to go recharge by myself.
There's some of my friends like they were saying like that they thought I was extroverted with how I talk, but I'm like, no, you drain me.
Did they laugh when you said that?
They didn't take me seriously.
Okay. Dude, okay, so when people don't take you seriously, but you're serious, that's how you get away with things. That's how I get away with things.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, I'll say the most ridiculous things, but, like, from my heart and from my motive, and from, like, the essence of where it's coming from, I'm serious about what I'm saying. But it's like, it just sounds so ridiculous, people don't take you seriously.
Well, they know
and that's how you can get away with things.
Yeah.
So that's the key to getting away with things.
Like there's one girl, she's like, Precious, you're weird. I'm like, yeah, I know. She's like, it's fine. I like you. I'm like, I hope so. Like, you're gonna walk away now.
And this is where you say, hey, can you buy me lunch? I've said things like that, and people have bought me lunch. just throw it out there. The worst thing someone can say is no. You'd be like, cool, that's fine.
She doesn't watch this. I told Ingrid one time she wanted to have a competition who went to school first. And of course she did. She came to school, and I was like, congratulations, can you buy me?
I thought you meant something else. I'm like, you wanted to have a competition of who went to school first? It's you. You automatically win because you're older.
No. It was just like because people were like either going to like class late and stuff.
Okay,
and I think this one, there was like a training, so we had to be there like on time. And if we didn't, like, even if you're like maybe a minute's fine, but if you're like 5 minutes late, like you don't get the certificate, you don't get the training. That like you're done.
Yeah.
Even if, let's say, like, for lunch, if you don't go there on time, like, if you're 5 minutes late, you're
done. Doesn't count. Doesn't count.
It doesn't count.
It's as
you
if
have
you
to
were
leave.
absent.
Yeah. And so I was just reminding, like, my friends, like, hey, guys, like, go there early. And then the one girl, Ingrid, she's like, oh, I'm here early. And I'm like, congrats. Can you buy me, like, an ice cap? And she's like, why? I'm like, that's your reward. Give it to me.
Did she actually?
No.
Oh.
she just called me insane.
See? But again, the worst thing they can say is no. And you're insane. But the best thing they could have said is, okay. Right? You never
I was
know.
taking that 50-50. Well,
yeah, it's 50-50.
It was a no.
It says in the Bible, ask and you shall receive. But if you don't ask, well, you ain't going to receive because you just didn't ask. It's like when you ask for plush. Dude, you know you ask me for a lot of things. Can I get this? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's usually a no now, but before it was a 50-50.
Dude, I say yes to a lot of things.
Not when I want to buy it.
Like
Whenever
what?
when you go to Miniso.
No.
When you go, see?
Dude, the reason being is, okay, I'm going to tell this story. Can I tell this story?
No.
Why?
I'm
It's
scared.
a good story. It's the Miniso story.
Which one?
When we first went to Miniso.
Yeah.
Okay, so we did this thing before we even saw people doing this on social media, on Instagram.
What?
It's people would go to Miniso, and it's like the boyfriends would buy the girlfriend everything that they wanted.
No, that's like what they touch. You just knew that I liked it. Like you had to like.
And you touched all. Okay, kind of like the same
No.
concept. So, anyways, so the first time we had the Miniso open up at our mall, at Lime Ridge Mall, right?
Mhm.
I'm just like, hey, let's go to Miniso. And the first thing you were all looking at was all the blind boxes, right? And me being me, remember you asked, can I get this? And I'm like, yeah. And you thought I would just get you one. And then you'd be like, oh, I like this one too. And be like, okay, you can get that one too. Just two, right? And then as you were looking around, I grabbed this basket. And I'm literally like, oh, this one. Oh, just put them all in here.
The workers were staring.
Dude, it was wild. Like, everybody was looking. And it's like, I felt famous. I didn't mean
I
to
felt embarrassed.
See, I didn't feel embarrassed. I felt
Everyone
like I'm the
said-
husband who's providing for my wife.
They don't even probably think that we're married.
That's true. We don't look like we're married, dude. We look like a bunch of kids.
That doesn't help that, like, it's just blind boxes.
Yeah, it's all blind boxes. And I think, how much did we spend the first time? We did this twice or 3 times.
It was a lot, but it wasn't as bad because it was cheaper.
Oh yeah, so I think each blind box was like $10.
$10 or less.
Yeah, and then inflation happened. It went up to like 15 to like $18.
Yeah.
So the first time, each I remember the costs because it was just under $300, right? So $10 each. I think it was like $280. So how many blind boxes is that? I'm terrible at math.
Don't ask me.
10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So for every $100, it's 10 blind boxes. 10, 20. You had almost 30. I think you probably had like 25, 24 blind boxes the first time. And I remember the look on your face when you opened them all. Dude, you got excited. Dude, you got so excited you kept all the boxes. They're still in our store. Dude,
I threw some out.
Okay, in our storage, you have a box filled with empty boxes.
Those are the figures that I brought from home.
And there's blind boxes in there too.
Only some, not a lot. I threw some of them out because I had to make room.
Yeah,
and some of them I
because you have
cut.
an overabundance of them. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, so so that's the first time we went to Miniso. She enjoyed it. So I did that. We did that. I did that for her before even people started doing that on social media. And then the second time, we did it a second time too, remember? The second time was, I think...
I remember.
Why?
was
Okay, what do you remember?
It was in... was it Square One? I think it
Square
was.
One? I was thinking Lime Ridge still.
Then you did it 3 times because I remember we went to Square One.
Okay, so we did do it 3 times. Okay, what did I do at Square One?
I remember these 2 girls were laughing at me because you took a bunch.
Did I have a basket?
You had a basket. And they looked at me, and I looked at them. My face turned red. They were laughing at me. I don't know, that laughing was like, oh, it's cute, or like, you're insane. I don't know.
See, because in my head, I'm the husband, and, it's like, my wife likes these things. And I would rather buy, and I'm always like this. So I'm the type of husband who, I wasn't always like this, though. I would rather buy something for you than buy something for me.
Yeah.
Mind you, before we got together, there was a point where it's like, I was selfish. I'd be like, I want this first. But I think growing and knowing who God created me to be and the husband I should be, dude, I'm serious.
No, just whenever you say the husband I should be, like, why? Just why?
I don't know.
Anyways.
Manly.
Anyway.
Okay, so growing up to be the husband who God created me to be, it's to love your wife and to put, I put you first before me, right? Especially when it comes to the things you want. So if I know you want something, right, I'll put what I want on the back burner.
Yeah.
Several times over.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like that.
Yeah, but that's fine. My happiness comes from you being happy and seeing the joy on your face when you get the things you want.
Yeah, but remember that one time when you got the Captain America shield and you were like holding it proud and everything?
I have the photos of that. Yeah, I still have those. Like, were we married yet? No, we were just engaged.
Yeah, we were engaged.
Because we used that shield for our wedding photos. Yeah, I remember that feeling. I'm like,
and I wanted you to I wanted to see more of that.
Can I tell you something? Okay, this is a little...
Do I have a choice? No, I'm
No,
kidding.
you don't have a choice. I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
So, that feeling I had when you bought that for me... Because, mind you, we weren't together yet. We weren't married. We were just engaged.
Yeah.
So, you still had your separate bank account, and I still had my separate bank account. We didn't have our bank accounts together. The feeling... I had that same feeling I had when... Kim, so my ex, Kim, bought me a shirt for the first time as boyfriend and girlfriend.
What shirt was it? Do you have it?
It was a dress shirt. It was I don't have it anymore because I got smaller and it's just way too big for me.
Okay.
When I was with Kim, I was like I was on the heavier side.
Did I see it before?
You did. I did wear it. It was a nice shirt. And when she bought it for me, the feeling was, really? And I felt so loved. It was that exact same feeling. But the feeling that I had when you gave me the shield, there was a different thought that came with that feeling. And it's the feeling I have of how much you love me by buying me this thing. I want you to feel it for the rest of our lives together. Because when I had that feeling with Kim, I never had that thought of, I want Kim to have that feeling for the rest of her life. Right? Because a lot of this is going, again, just getting a little bit personal. I don't mind sharing this. Because this was like, holy crap, this was 10 years ago. It's 2024. This was back in 2014 when me and Kim first got together. In that relationship, for the most part of that relationship, I look back on it and I was selfish. But I think the reason I was selfish is because, again, I didn't learn until after or near the end of our relationship when I went to Bible school, right? I didn't know who I was and who God created me to be. So when I learned, dude, this is who God created me to be, to love your significant others and to put them first in everything, right? And to not be selfish. And it didn't just go in through my head, like it actually sat in my heart. So in that last half of my relationship with Kim, it's like, I'm a changed man. But then because of all the circumstances that happened,
It's like already kind of...
she didn't believe me.
Yeah.
Because I remember I'd ask her, I'd be like, do you believe I've changed? And she would say, yeah. And it's like, you've seen the actions that I've changed. Yes. But I think a part of her didn't fully believe it.
It's kind of unlearning it, right?
Yeah, unlearning that.
Yeah.
And it's like, and that was the end of that relationship because that was near the end of our relationship. And it's like, I really did change. So everything I learned from going to Bible college to going to Bible school and learning who I was and who God created me to be, you got all of it. And I'm so thankful for that because it's like now when I see you happy and me giving you the things you want rather than me, the things that I want gets filled so much more by seeing you get the things that you want. Does that make sense?
So like ice caps.
Did I not go out today in the snow and the icy roads to get you ice cap?
Mofusan.
Dude, you got your mofusan.
Pachaco.
Dude, you got your pachaco. Speaking of which, you know there's a surprise for you tomorrow. Don't forget about that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, see, you forgot.
I tend to forget a lot.
Yeah, that's fine. See, but this is how... I see it in your life. I see it in my life too. This is how loved you are. So, I know you went through a season in your life where you felt like you weren't loved. Or you were only loved because they had to. Like
By
with your
default.
parents. Yeah, by default. That's terrible. I'm only loved because I have to be by my parents.
I'm their favorite daughter by default.
Because you're the only daughter. That's terrible! But you know, now you're actually seeing and you're feeling, dude, you are so loved by everyone around you. Like even from my coworkers, with Kathy. Like
Yeah.
Kat, I don't know if Kathy's watching this, but shout out to Kathy. Yo, Kathy. So Kathy's an MSR at one of the clubs I work at, right? And she's showing her love for you and that she cares about you by getting you a surprise. But I think she's reciprocating the love that you've shown her as well. Because you got her a bunch of stuff too.
Yeah.
Not because you had to, but I think that's just part of who you are now. Because you kept adding into that bag, oh, I think Kathy will love this! Oh, I think Kathy will love this! You just kept throwing stuff in there, and then as we're going shopping, you're like, Jimmy, can I get Kathy this? And it's not for you anymore. But do you see the joy of giving rather than receiving? Like, it's nice to receive things, but, dude, it feels so much better. And there's just so much more fulfillment in giving. And I see that when we were out shopping, can I get this for Kathy? And I'm always going to be like, yeah,
Well,
sure.
I think the thing was too, it's like I never had that opportunity. I mean, you could say I had that at work, but it's different. There's some, not all, but there's some people where it's like if you give, they're gonna have that.
Obligation.
Yes.
Oh, now I got to give back to you. And this is what
Yeah.
I'm trying to show people, everyone around me. One person being, I think Ray's starting to get this, because I know there are times Ray has told me, he's like, dude, I know you're just doing it and I don't have to do anything back. But it's like, he's just not used to it.
Yeah.
Because I guess for a lot of people in their life, it's, if something's given to you, it's like you're obligated to do something back for them.
Yeah, like it's kind of taught, pretty much, like you.
Especially
have
in
to.
the Filipino culture.
Yes.
It's like, so they call this in the Filipino culture, in Tagalog, utang laob. Utang sa loob.
What you said, I'm not.
Yeah,
repeating
I
it.
don't know exactly what that means, but I hear it. But I know it translates into, if I do something for you, now you're obligated for you to do something for me. But this is where the free gift, or I guess the purity of love and giving, isn't about getting. You're not giving to get. You're giving to give.
Yeah.
Because that's part of who you are. Again, once you're already that person, you're able to do, going back to Genesis 1:28, right? Once you're that person up in here and in here, you automatically do the things of who you are. And if God says, this is who we are supposed to be, we're supposed to be blessed, to be a blessing, right? We give from the overflow of what we have. So if we have an overflow of love in our hearts, guess what? It's going to be so easy to give love from that overflow. Like, we don't even have to try to do it. It just comes naturally because it's something that's overflowing. And also, you can't give what you don't have, right? So going back to a more practical thing, it was just automatic for you to just, hey, let's give Kathy this and give Kathy this, because that's just who you are.
Yeah.
Right? And in the same way, when I give gifts to Ray, Vanessa, Angelica, Sophia, it's my best friend's family, right? I'm not doing it to get something back from them. I'm just doing it because that's who I am.
Yeah.
And I know that's who I am because I know I'm blessed to be a blessing. So if I come across something, right, and I'll be like, yo, I think Angelica would like that, like with the hippers,
Yeah.
right? But mind you, Ray did say, hey, if you come across hippers.
Yeah, that was the first thing I'm like, I think Angelica was.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, is it? And then we called Ray, yo, is this what you wanted? Right? But there are times where they never ask for anything. We'll just see something.
Yeah, like with Vanessa, I'm like, oh, she likes chocolate. I'm like, can we
I
get her
think she'll
that?
like this. And I'll be like, yeah, totally. Right? But again, it's putting others first rather than ourselves. It just comes naturally now because it's been fortified in our heads and in our hearts. This is who we are. We're givers. We're not takers. We're givers. We're givers first, and then we receive things.
Yeah.
That's just who we are. And we're not giving to get. We're giving to give. And that's just the purity of who we are.
Yeah.
So in the same way, when it comes to who we are in Christ, when it comes to giving, you're getting there when it comes to being a recreational therapist. Because remember, there was a struggle at first when it came to us. For me, I'm going to use me as an example, to us giving. Going back to my relationship with Kim, I was saying I was very much more selfish than giving. I'm not saying I was like a terrible boyfriend. I don't think I was. I mean, we were together for 6 years, and we did share a lot of laughs, right? And I remember a lot of good times. It's just in the overall look of our relationship, I was dang selfish. And I didn't realize that until near the end of the relationship. But by then, it was already too late. Like, Kim was done, right? And I don't blame her for that. So all I could do was, moving forward, the person I'm going to spend the rest of my life with, they're going to get everything that I should have given Kim, because that's who God created me to be. So you're getting everything. I mean, not what Kim would have gotten, but you're getting everything that God wanted to give you through me. And the only reason that's able to happen is because in here and in here, it's sunk in. This is who God created you to be.
Yeah.
To put you first and to be a giver to you. And put you first, what you want, your needs before my own. Right? So, again, I had to struggle first before I was able to get to that place where I was able to finally see, dude, I'm a giver. I'm blessed. When I give, it's from the overflow of what I have. But again, there was a struggle first. And in the same way, what you're going through right now, like there's that struggle, there's that fight of becoming a recreational therapist. Because you're doing full-time school, you're doing full-time work, and you're getting overwhelmed. Right? But just know, through this struggle, this is what makes you stronger. And when you get to the place of being finally who God created you to be, recreational therapist, in this season,
Yeah.
you'll look back and you'll be like, dang, I am a recreational therapist. Like how I look at me, dang, I am a good husband. I mean, I don't say that, but in my head, I think I am a good husband. Because that's who God
You are a good husband.
I am a good husband. Because that's who God called me to be. And you are, and I'm so lucky and blessed to have you as a wife. Because you are the perfect wife for me. Because you don't fight me on things.
Even when I say stop.
I'm sorry, don't worry, I'll get better at it. I'll get better at it. Okay? These are, during these podcasts, this is your chance to voice and to make me really listen. Because I think during this time, again, we're practicing our communication skills. This is when it'll sink in the most.
Yeah, because I think when you're focused on something, like you're just
I'm really hyper-focused. Like, I think God created me in a way where I'm able to hyper-focus easily. Sometimes it's not a good thing.
Mine, no.
Yeah, you need help. You get distracted easily.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, what's that down there? I'm like, oh, and this is why when I have the time frame, I get interrupted.
Like, dude, it happens to me too, but in the back of my head, it's like, no, I gotta go stay on track. Like, the times this morning when you were like, you had all these questions, and I told you, I'm like, sorry, right now I'm just focused on upstairs, whatever I was doing, right? Like, I want you to know when I do that, I'm not ignoring you. It's just right now I'm just super hyper focused on this. When I'm done this, I'll come back to you and we'll talk about what you need to talk about. And I'll help you. Yeah.
Good luck editing this video.
Oh. Yeah, this one's a long one. This one will be fine. Alright, so I guess that's it for now. So, until next time, we'll see you in episode 7.
I thought you said this was episode, like you told me.
This is episode 6.
You said before it was episode 5.
No, I'm uploading episode 5 tomorrow.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right.
Spoiler
This is episode
alert.
6. Yeah.
Oh.
So next time we'll see you in episode 7 of the VeggieBot podcast. Until then, peace.
Don't do it.
Peace. Peace.
Don't do that. It's so bad.